You've got the smarmy smile. And again, it's all the pod bros joking with my, oh, he's so hilarious. Oh, he's so charming. Oh, I know there are a lot of Republicans who are then rooting for the socialists to take over the Democratic Party. I do not. I've been saying this since 2020 at the very latest, when Bernie Sanders was running against Joe Biden. What I said in 2020 was that I preferred Joe Biden to be the nominee rather than Bernie Sanders, even if Bernie was more likely to lose to Donald Trump. Why? Because the risk factor in having a socialist leader was higher than the risk factor in having a dead leader like Joe Biden. That even if Joe Biden had slightly higher odds to win the presidency than Bernie Sanders, if I have to calculate out the damage that a Bernie Sanders presidency would do versus a Joe Biden presidency, astronomically higher via Bernie Sanders than via Joe Biden, no matter how bad Joe Biden was. I feel the same way about the Democratic Party falling wholesale to the wild left Democratic Socialists. If they do that, yes, there's a lower chance that they will win power anytime soon. However, to pretend that chance doesn't exist is to whistle past the graveyard. Let's say, for example, that the Democratic Party in 2028 right now has a 40% shot of winning the White House with some sort of pseudo-moderate, like a Gavin Newsom or a Wes Moore. And let's say they have a 30% shot of winning the White House with a clear, insane socialist like AOC at the top of the ticket. The damage that would be done by a Wes Moore or a Gavin Newsom, let's say that it's a 7 out of 10. And the damage done by an AOC would be like a 10 out of 10. And well, if I'm just doing the math there, I would rather take the low risk scenario, even if there's a greater risk that person might become president, than take the absolutely disaster apocalyptic scenario of having a Democratic Party controlled by the nut jobs with the still somewhat plausible shot of taking power. This is why the rise of the Zohran Mamdani left is truly, truly troubling. And the people who are fomenting this, I think, ought to be noted here. There's been this sort of bizarre move on the right to treat people who are fellow travelers of the Trump election in 2024 as though they are leaders, thought leaders in conservatism or for the country. And listen, anytime you create a victorious electoral coalition, there are going to be a bunch of different opinions within that electoral coalition. But if you're a new convert to the conservative or Republican cause for one election, I'm not sure that you get to lead the church. You don't get to go directly from the back pews to being the pastor or the priest. And one of the mistakes I think that we make in politics is treating people who are sort of the new converts, because we're excited to have them, as though they ought to be the actual thought leaders. And here I'm calling out some of these so-called manosphere boys, the kind of pod bro boys, who are new converts sometimes to conservatism, who show up late to the party, and they bring friends, and that's great. There are lots more friends at the party now, but who probably ought not be trusted with the future of conservatism or be considered actual thought leaders just because they are reacting to the excesses of the left. Because sooner or later, they end up flipping and going right back to the left. And it seems as though the answer there is sooner. Because, again, it is not coming from any thoroughgoing ideological commitment to conservatism or to conservative principles. It's kind of just reactionary ping-ponging. And you cannot have reactionaries who ping-pong between political positions as the leadership voices of your movement. That would be a dumb thing to do. I'm on the road constantly, right? I'm covering the news stories, political events, you name it. Between the flights and the hotel rooms, sometimes getting proper nutrition, that's like the first thing that goes out the window. Here's the thing. I have a lot of people who count on me. Got a wife, got kids, got a company. So I need to stay healthy, and that's why I started taking Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements. These are the original whole food supplements. 16 fruits, 15 veggies, freeze-dried into capsules. As someone who keeps kosher, I appreciate there are no binders, no fillers, no flow agents, just 100% whole food ingredients. Nothing added that shouldn't be there. When I'm rushing through an airport, I can take them with water. If I'm in the car between interviews, I can chew them. Sometimes I'll even open the capsules and mix the powder into my smoothies. However my day is going, they go with me. Balance of Nature delivers the natural goodness of fruits, veggies, spices, and fibers just as nature intended. Which means even when I'm 2,000 miles from home, I'm still taking care of myself the way my family needs me to. It's very convenient. You pop it right in the protein smoothie the way I do. You can take it chewable. You can swallow it. Like, there's plenty of ways to get the nutrients you need with Balance of Nature. Head on over to balanceofnature.com. Get a free fiber and spice supplement plus 35% off your first set as a new preferred customer by using discount code Shapiro. The reason I'm talking about this is because yesterday, Zohran Mamdani was featured on a podcast done by the comedian Andrew Schulz. Now, again, I think Schulz is a funny guy. I think that his specials are quite funny. He's a talented comedian. He and I have some rather large disagreements. But there are a bunch of people who have suddenly deemed Schulz to be sort of an important voice on the quote-unquote conservative side of the aisle. I don't even think Andrew would consider himself to be on the conservative side of the aisle. In fact, I know he doesn't. And so I was not particularly surprised to find him glossing Zohran Mamdani on his show, like a lot. Here was Andrew Schulz basically propping up Zohran Mamdani, an overt socialist with jihadist leanings. When I say jihadist leanings, I mean here that he is sympathetic to jihadists. He is. Globalize the Intifada is a jihadist call. He refuses to say Hamas should disarm, which, if you care about Palestinians, you should want Hamas to disarm. And he used to rap about freeing the Holy Land Five, who were, in fact, a front group for Hamas, as charged by the federal government. He has posed alongside people who are unindicted co-conspirators in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. And here's Andrew Schulz basically glossing him. Because, again, I don't think that Andrew Schulz thinks of himself as a deep political thinker. So, in my opinion, no one else should, probably.
I also think this idea that like New Yorkers are going to flee because of a 2% increase, it's like, I've been everywhere else. You're not going anywhere. Bill Ackman's not going nowhere. He's going to be in the Hamptons all summer.
One place to write those tweets.
That's it.
New York City.
Exactly.
And you've got the smarmy smile. And again, it's all the pod bros joking with my, oh, he's so hilarious. Oh, he's so charming. Oh, yeah. Here was more of Andrew Schulz really massaging Mamdani.
I don't think anybody's moving, and I honestly feel that way. And like, I'm in the tax bracket. We're going to tax more. Like, dude, if you're going to deliver all this shit for 2%, give it. I'm 100% supportive. It makes life easier for New Yorkers. This is my one identity in my entire life is a New Yorker. It's the thing I care the most about. But what I will say is that I think that there are going to be people in government that are going to try to restrict you from doing that. And I know that you're aware of that.
Okay, first of all, he doesn't have the power to increase state taxes by 2%. And yes, by the way, people who are mobile will move. Historically, they do. I mean, because it's not the 2% increase that's going to do it. It's the belief that there is a trajectory of income tax increases that is only going to steepen. I know because I did it. I am a person who grew up not rich, and then I made a lot more money. And then the state of California kept trying to take more and more and more of my money. And that was a major factor in me taking my company and moving it to Tennessee and me personally moving to Florida, both zero state income tax states. The idea that you can incessantly just grab money from people and that at no point will they move, especially when they are the most mobile class in the country, is beyond. I mean, listen, if Schulz wants to pay more cash to the government, he's free to do that. There's a box you can check on your IRS forms that allows you to send more money to the federal government. I assume there's one on the state forms that allows you to send more money to the state government. If Andrew Schulz wants to start a charity where he gives more money so there can be free bus fare in New York, he's free to do that as well. But, this idea that you can change policy with no ramifications for anyone else is sort of bizarre. And again, this goes back to the central point. Andrew's entitled to all of his opinions, obviously. He has a very popular show. He's a popular comedian. To pretend that he's some sort of great shakes politically, at least on the right side of the aisle, he himself would not, Andrew would not tell you that he is a thought leader on the right side of the aisle. I keep pointing this out because there are people who keep trying to treat him that way. And there are people who do the same thing with like Tim Dillon or Joe Rogan or a bunch of other people who themselves would tell you they are not on the right. Don't do that if you're on the right. It's silly. It is stupid. The reason that Andrew Schulz moved to the right is because he got tired of the censoriousness of the left. But anti-left does not make you conservative. And that is important when you're defining which voices get to shape and lead the coalition that is going to be running from the right side of the aisle. Again, here's Andrew Schulz continuing to gloss an open socialist who hates capitalism, Zohran Mamdani.
I'm worried about entrenched politics.
Yep.
And I'm worried about the people that fund them because they're the same people that have been fundraising against you.
No.
Okay. And I'm worried about them bending to their whim. And what scares me a little bit is there are going to be people that are incentivized for you to fail. Mm-hmm. And then if that pendulum swings all the way the other way, how many more people get hurt? And I guess my question is like, do you ever worry about that? Or do you have to be so blinders on?
Wow. I mean, tough questions there. Tough questions. Again, my point here is not that Andrew Schulz needs to be some sort of right-winger. He isn't. So people should stop treating him like that because he isn't one. And the same thing goes anytime you're trying to define the sort of boundaries, what conservatism looks like. You might want to actually ask yourself, definitionally, is this person in the corner of the ideas that I share, or are they a fellow traveler against the thing that I don't like for the moment? And it can be either. Okay, it doesn't make it a bad thing. But it would be a foolhardy move to say that people who joined the Trump coalition in the waning moments of the 2024 election are somehow conservative voices and thought leaders who we must pay tremendous outsized attention to. I just don't think that that's correct. Well, that's all for now, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below. Be sure to check out all of the other great content on my channel. I'll see you here next time.